I have talked about this quite a bit lately. We need more technicians in our world. In the RV world, there is just not enough. There has never been enough, and we keep on begging for people to come and apply with us and learn the gig. But it's been difficult.
You know, I called up the RV store and I asked to order some technicians, and they told me they were fresh out.
I think they're back
RV
ordered and on some boat.
I know, the RV store. Did you know there was such a thing?
I did.
Yeah, they laughed at me.
So I think that we need to call in the big guns, people who know people and also train people and also certify people on how to do the work on RVs that is so desperately needed today.
Well, that's what we're going to talk about today, and I'm excited. We're going to learn how people go from 0 to 100 if they want to be an RV tech.
That's zero to hero, PJ.
How people
Zero
go
to hero,
from
that sounds
normal
much
people
better.
to superheroes.
Yeah, because, you know, everybody that has an RV needs it fixed, right? Who do you know? Who do you trust? How do they get there?
All right, well,
that'll be fun.
Very good. Let's tell them who we are.
You tell us who we are.
Welcome to the RV Small Talk podcast, where we talk about lightweight trailers, truck campers, and people, places, and adventures that go right along with them. We are your hosts from Princess Craft RV in Round Rock, Texas. I am Clint.
I'm PJ.
And I'm not in a bad mood.
Whoa. Thanks, Lindsay.
You're welcome.
Lindsay, can you roll in and tell them where they can meet up with us any other day of the week?
Absolutely. You can find us on YouTube. If you're not watching, you could be. You can find us on Facebook, a few different places, RV Small Talk, and we have an RV Small Talk community, which is a really good place to post your questions, ideas for future episodes, or just share pictures of your trips, because we love that. If you are on Apple Podcasts, you can also rate and review us. We really appreciate it.
Very good. Don't forget that we also have a few camping rallies, tiny trailer.
Oh, I
truck
don't
camper.
forget.
So if you are interested in camping with us, we go to these events, we host them, we go to them, and we meet and greet and whatnot. So look up Texas Tiny Trailer Rally or the Texas Truck Camper Rally. Find out when our next rallies are and sign on up.
And to the 100+ trailers that join us at every event, y'all are awesome, and I can't wait to the next one.
All right. You know what all those trailer and truck camper people have? They have trailers and truck campers. And you know what those things do?
That was not a hard question.
Where are we going here?
I'm not stumped. Give me a hard one.
They go all up and down the most cool terrain and shake things up until sometimes they need something tweaked or fixed or modified or calibrated or maybe even a warranty repair or something like that. And they need to have someone to work on them. We need people to work on them. Who are we speaking to today, PJ?
Well, we are talking to Kurt and Tracy, and they are from RVTI. So how about we let them tell us who they are and what they do?
Sure. Well,
all right, Kurt.
All right, well, I'll start. Thank you very much. And thank you for having me here, or us here today. I'm Kurt Hemmeler, Executive Director of the RV Technical Institute. And with me is Tracy, and I'll turn it over to her to introduce herself.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm Tracy Anglemeyer, and I am the Director of Recruitment for RVTI.
Ooh. Well, that all sounds very official.
That sounds necessary.
Well, here's the best part. We're coming to you straight from Elkhart, Indiana today. So it was a long drive to come this far. Right?
Hopefully you grew some wings and you flew.
We did, but we came with a purpose too. As you were just talking about, we came here to help educate the rest of the world about the RV industry by participating and being a key sponsor in the 2022 ASCA High School Counselor event, which is a national event. All states come in, and we had a great setup. We had RVs present. We had local folks there, and really we're there for the purpose of educating everybody about not just the lifestyle of RVing, but how to become an RV tech. And their first response is, I didn't even know you had a job like that. So
exactly.
Well, somebody has to fix them. Who did they think fixed them?
That's a good question.
I mean, what did they think happened here?
PJ, RVs never break.
Yeah, RVs never not break. You forgot a word.
Yes,
That's kind of what they thought.
But as we know, your house going down the road on wheels at 70 miles an hour could rattle a few things.
You can go 70?
Safety 55.
Okay.
Maybe 60.
Well, you know, in Texas, we go 80.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just so you know, this is Texas, and we have 80 mile-an-hour speed limits. It's spectacular.
We got one section road over this 85. I will say I can harken back to high school and say I saw all of the trades institutes, tradesmen, crafts, whatever, represented at all these fairs. So you had the plumbers, the electricians, but you also had the automotive techs, and you had the diesel techs, and you had the oil field in our neck of the woods. You had motorcycle schools, and all these are hands-on technology and craftsman related fields. And yet since the dawn of the RV industry, there hasn't been enough RV techs, and people don't think about it and don't know that it's a very cool career. In fact, possibly more interesting than just working on motorcycles or automobiles.
Well, I'm sure there are some auto technicians that would beg to differ. But
well, maybe. I mean, if you're in the upper echelon where you're talking about the high I don't know, output engines and race cars and all of that. But if you're in the standard world, where else can you basically be into carpentry and house framing and electrician and plumber and some automotive and all that? This is pretty much all of those skills and trades kind of wrapped up together.
I think that's my first question is, why is the RV industry and technicians so different than auto technicians? Do they have the same problem finding talented people as we do? I mean, what's different about it? Because I can promise you this, when people come in here, they expect the auto repair shop experience, and it is so different.
Sure. So the first part of your question, I think, is answered with it is what we have heard from technicians over the last few years and for a while is what they like best about their job is the variety versus an auto or diesel tech. As you said, nothing against that profession, but you kind of do the same engine things. Whereas an RV tech has the opportunity to work on an air conditioner today, roof the next day, and there's a variety. And there's also a lot of freedom in that, and they enjoy that part of it. As far as yes, we're in competition with the auto tech world, the diesel world, the nursing profession,
nursing,
nursing trade, school teachers. It just unfortunately, all professions and especially trades are aging out. I mean, it's just I'm unfortunately I can say that I've been here and old enough to remember when we transitioned from trades and things of that nature. I had industrial arts in school and I had home ec and things of that nature. We escaped that when we started giving manufacturing away, and we wanted things better for our kids, and we thought that meant a traditional 4-year route. Well, here we are 20, 30 years later, and I've watched the pendulum begin to shift. And so part of RVTI's strategic initiative is to re-educate the counselors and educate the youth. And it's amazing. You have to start with the counselors because they themselves were never subjected to wrenching or doing any things that many of us were as young ones.
Right. They went the 4-year
degree and they won $100,000 when they come out.
Right.
Difference with us is you can do that with our profession, and folks just don't know it. But what doesn't come with it is student debt. We try to, it's a way to.
Okay, well, that's one thing.
That's a big plus there, right? But, that's where we have started this year's RVTI is in our recruitment phase. And we're going to be in approximately 20 different states. We were just here in Austin for the national convention. And it's all starting with educating the educators so that we can begin to reseed and replant our fields of people so that they come out of high school with certifications already, so they can be hired, they can be already trained and professionalized, which isn't going to happen overnight, but we're putting a lot of effort into making sure that our career field gets first choice.
Right.
Well, first choice, you say that, but then we've all sat here and mentioned plumbing, electrical, construction, laying a roof. That's a lot of things. When I take my car in to be fixed, the guy says, oh, well, I don't have my computer with me today, so I'll have it tomorrow. And they plug it into a computer and it pops up and it says, your whatchamacallit is broken and needs to be replaced. And they push 3 more buttons and they say, our manual says that will cost you $872. And boom, I mean,
you should get a cheaper whatchamacallit.
I know.
I find them at the corner
It's
store.
always the most expensive
It is
whatchamacallit that's broken.
It costs the same as $100,000. I'm not sure how, but
So I think that's a good question for Trace to answer as far as the career path.
Ooh,
we have a career path that I think allows people to, and the idea of training and certifying folks is critical. And the RV space has been a little slow to doing that. The auto world has got the upper hand. They have been teaching ASE certifications and that kind of thing over many decades. Well, that's what we're doing at RVTI is we're bringing that certification, that national recognition, the gold standard to the table. And we've created a career path. And so that when techs enter into that, that they are, they don't just, it's not just come in and do this. You've got a true career. You have an opportunity to grow, whether it be into the service manager or into a general manager slot. And, I believe, the introduction of RVTI, RVDA has its fixed ops training that they do. Mm-hmm. We're beginning to really professionalize things, that we've been a little slow to it, but we're moving that direction.
So compared to the auto industry, do you think we're behind in standardizing?
In some things, but you can't automate building an RV or repairing an RV like you can an automobile.
Right. Thank you very much. Can you say that again? Can you say that again? It would so help us.
In the building and manufacturing of an RV, you can't automate it. There is not a robot that puts your refrigerator in. Okay.
Really?
So that's number one.
Okay.
They're still built by humans. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And back to Clint's, you guys go 85 down here. That's a major earthquake and hurricane. You're putting that thing, your house through every time you're taking it down the road. So you build the best that the manufacturers out there can build them, but things are going to break.
Yeah, they aren't putting the same level. I mean, a modern car, so many sensors going to every component nowadays, coming into a pretty powerful computer right underneath your dash.
And they can read
let's see that happen.
I mean,
in
an
RV.
oxygen sensor is an oxygen sensor,
right?
But you know what? It hasn't yet, but it will. Have solar panels on it, right? Does it have wind turbines? Does it have generators? Does it have, cars are going EV, but look how fast the RV industry is changing with components.
Right.
And to keep up with that and just be able to plug in.
Yeah.
Right. So we need to take them through a career path, right? We need technicians that are actually trained on how to properly and safely repair that RV to get that consumer back on the road.
Sure.
Well, when I hear the word career path, that sounds like a hell of a long time to go to school to figure out how to do this job.
It's a whole path. It's not a short walk. It's a whole path.
It's a journey.
It's a journey.
It's a journey.
I like that.
Yes.
That doesn't sound that sounds like a lot of work.
It's actually, as the old saying goes, if you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. I think that's what we
I think that's what. We can't say that on this podcast.
Okay.
We could, but I'm not gonna.
But I do think the career path gives us an advantage. So we mentioned all the needs of all the trades out there. It doesn't matter what it is, the skilled labor force, and it's a very open field right now. It's never been a better time to be looking for a job or training because there's a lot of opportunity.
That's true.
But I think this path we talk about, obviously we have created it so it can be done if you have to work, like most people, you have to work and still go to school. But traditional routes sometimes will increase that length of time because of availability of classes, or it may not be what you want to do. We've created it so it can be done online, it can be done in person, it can be done in a combination, it can be done through a learning partner, it can be done right here at your facility. And we do that so that it can be accelerated.
Okay. What does that mean, accelerated? Can you walk me through
That means go faster.
The main sections.
It means 85 miles.
85 miles an hour, right? That's what that means.
Yeah.
I am all in.
Don't with that level 2 too fast.
Yeah.
Don't we have an
component.
F1 track around here?
Yeah, Circuit of the Americas.
Yeah, so there you go.
So the career path, it begins with a level 1, which is what we call a RV inspector level. This is somebody that can go through and really understand how every system in this coach works and to verify that it works appropriately. That's about a 40-hour class or self-paced. The second level, you get into diagnostics and troubleshooting. This is where if you come across a problem, you may not be fully ready in level 1, but by level 2, you can diagnose it, diagnostic it to death. And then, and that's about another 200 hours of classwork. So when you think in the scope of time and schooling, in the fact you can do it online, you can do it in person, it can be, some people take a few weeks, some people take 6 months, some people take a year. The thing you have to remember is this career path is going to continue to grow. You can't, it is unthinkable that you're going to stop learning. And that's something we don't want to stop having, because technology and innovation is going to continue, even in the RV world.
Sure,
and there may be robotics one day. But at this point, you do that by adding to your career path. So your journey will go as long as you want it to go. Some people will stop along the way, grab a bite to eat, may stay you there for a while. Others will keep going. And so this career path I'm referring to will continue to evolve.
Level 3.
Level 3.
Level 3 keeps evolving.
Keeps evolving.
As the suppliers and industry keep bringing out new innovation, right? So auto, not digging auto at all. My brother was an auto diesel ASE mechanic, so sorry, Jeff. But you do work on
Jeff's
that.
not listening.
Jeff's not listening.
No.
On that same thing, right? But we're working on a house, right? So how many different people would you call if your air conditioner went out, if your oven went out, if your roof has a hole in it? You keep going. You're learning so many different aspects. It's not just plug it in and I'm going to fix a piston, a muffler, an oxygen sensor, or change oil. So those are just everyday kind of, these are different aspect and skilled traits that vary. So to get a good technician, you need a good technician trained, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you think we've offended every auto technician?
I
out
hope
there?
not, because I love them to death.
They're fine.
Hey, I work on my own cars. I
Level
love-
3 is just what is level 3?
Level 3 is actually put on by the suppliers in the industry. So the technicians are actually learning about those independent, specific brand components.
Like a Truman water heater or whatever.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
An
That
Oman
makes sense.
generator.
Got it.
So it's a specialty area. So it could be, you could specialize in slide outs. You could specialize in appliances, solar, and all of these. So level 3 is the level of what I refer to as continuing ed. And after you've completed so many hours in that, you can move to the master level. But as we have found in this profession, because there's varying places that you can apply this, whether you're a mobile tech or you work for a dealer, you may work for a large dealer, you may work for a small dealer, your need to advance along that path is going to be different possibly, and you may end up specializing in one area. So we've created it purposefully so that a person can still move up, have a great career, sustainable career, and choose their path, how far they want to go or how short they want to go.
Or if they see the industry moving a little bit,
They can-
you guys will be there for them because you have
Yes.
the ties to the people who are pushing the change through their appliances, their components,
And
and all that.
that's a very good point. I mean, we are the RV Industry Association. Our members are the manufacturers, the suppliers. The curriculum was built off of the standards, the safety standards. So you know that the curriculum is going to be consistent, professionalized, standardized, and safe. And then that level 3 is where you can begin to expand off, and we will adapt and adjust to however. So imagine a tree. The branches will change. It might lean this way, left. Another example is in the near future, we'll be adding another level 4. As I mentioned, 63% of our techs currently are over the age of 35. So that's why we have to start talking in these high schools. We have to start planning our fields.
Right.
Well, those folks out there, whether they're certified or not, have a wealth of knowledge. We do not want to lose that. So what better thing can we do but make them mentors, make them trainers, make them instructors? So we're going to actually add a part of the career path is an instructor level. And they will become the mentors across the country, across the world that are going to help support and educate these younger folks that maybe didn't grow up wrenching and make them better techs.
I have a 2-part question.
Yes.
First, how do technicians actually learn how to fix things online if you're talking about fixing RVs? And also, where's the level where they get to design their superhero costume? I feel like that's a really important part of the career.
On the second part. I forgot the first part. Okay, so even though they're learning it online, we have what's called a hands-on portion. So you're going to take your manometer and you're going to go out to an RV and you're going to test this.
Okay, so you still have to do stuff.
Correct.
On
Even though the
actual RVs.
curriculum's online, we want them working on an RV.
Okay, red light.
Yeah.
Manometer.
Oh, okay.
It's a meter for men.
I have always
I've never owned one personally.
which is there an incorrect
I don't rank.
pronunciation?
It doesn't go off.
Is it a manometer
You'll
or
use
a
one in an
manometer?
LP. Yeah. Okay.
Manamana.
Oh, Indiana. Manamana. Yeah.
Manometer.
Potato. Manometer. Manometer.
It jumped out at me, a manometer. We
we'll
need to
go to-
remember that, Lindsay.
We'll go to a multimeter then.
You need
How's
a
that?
manometer.
I know what that is.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Everybody needs a multimeter.
All right.
Okay, well,
if I can, I'm going to expand a little bit off your question. It's a very good question.
The
superhero
costume.
or the...
Well, of course, the costume one, not the other one. No, the one about the online and can it deliver at the levels of what a hands-on experience is. There's a couple things. I come from the education space. I've been in it for 28 years. And I can tell you, I had my doubts when it was introduced 20 years ago. I'm like, this will never take. How can you do this? I will tell you today that I ran nursing schools that were being trained online. So think about that. So that's kind of scary, right? It's
That
kind of scary.
explains my last 3 blood draws.
Yeah, absolutely.
But fortunately, we're not dealing with human beings. But if they can take nursing techniques and do things, that's what we've done with our curriculums. We made it so interactive and gamified that it is the results coming out, the outcomes, which is what you really want to measure, are almost equal to somebody that goes through a hands-on class. It's still, once again, the RV space is a little bit behind the rest of the world on doing this, but that's where we've moved into. That's why we developed, and we've worked with Bisque Education, who has made and been in the business of developing online education for many decades. And they have done some great work with big schools. You know, we're actually their first trade school, and they've worked with us now for a couple of years, and it's been a great partnership. But we can deliver close to, if not equal, the outcome of what a hands-on experience is. It's really the rest. It's the technician and folks coming up that just have to get familiar with it. But we're going to continue to measure. We're going to continue to adjust as we see the best outcomes. But I want to go back to the idea of certification, because that's why you want to get certified. You want to get certified because now I can validate that you learned something, you understand it, and you can perform that task. And so the online is, yes, great outcome. It also allows our working folks, the ones that have to work each day, an opportunity to not lose out because of the fact that they can't go attend and sit in front of a class. Time is money these more than ever, right? So, and as a business owner and as a dealership owner or what have you, that is the most difficult thing, is finding the time. And we've modulated the curriculum so you can do pieces at a time. As Tracy already alluded to, you don't have to do it online. You can actually do a combination of, but the program is developed to test you and has labs built into it. You have to perform them or you can't move on. That type of thing.
Cool.
So it's really nice to be able to work in the field and train at the same time to get certified. And, you know, the work that you may be doing can advance along with your skills. But once I get level 1 certified, if I get a job somewhere, or what if I say, do I have to have a job? Can I just walk in and sign up to be RVTI? It's such a mouthful, guys. Can I just walk in and call you up and say, hey, can I sign up for a class? And I don't have to be working anywhere. I'm retired. I have an RV and I want to be level 1 certified.
That is an absolutely great question. And guess what? You don't even have to walk in anymore.
I just call you up.
You don't even
or
have
just
to
go
call.
online
You
and put my credit
There you
card
go.
in.
Apparently, you could also be a nurse too.
Yeah. So yes,
That's scary thought.
yes, and yes. All of those are possibly the easiest way. Just go online, go to rvti.org. It'll walk you through the online process. Depending, no matter which direction or how you want to learn, you pick what that is. The great news that I want to share with you is this, and not to bore you with my past anymore, but when I had the fortunate opportunity to get this position to build this school within the RV industry, what really pushed me to do this was the fact of the support from the industry itself. They gave $10 million to build this thing. Everybody contributed. And for that reason, we have the ability now to deliver it in these 5 different formats. But they also subsidize us this past year to where it's only $300, right? $300 there's a bunch of pickup trucks out in your parking lot right now. It costs that much for a tank of gas right now.
Yeah.
But for $300, you can either go online, you can come in person, you can go to an authorized learning partner, and get level 1, level 2 training. That includes certification for both also.
Okay,
For $300?
3 C spots.
Let's all get certified.
So to your
You
point,
get certified. You get certified.
but I want to know when I get my superhero costume.
Back to
Do I get
question
that
two.
level
Get
1?
You already have it, Mom. You already have
I
it.
think you need level 2 to get your cape, though, and that's all I really want.
that's when you become a mom.
Oh,
That's when
yeah,
you get your
I think that's
superhero.
right.
That's
That
when
is
you
so
become a mom.
true.
Wow.
So, okay, so I could tell, and I'm stretching this, probably shouldn't put it on a podcast, but never stopped us before. I could tell every one of my customers that buys a new RV, go on to RVTI website, sign up for their online level 1 class. For $300, you can learn the basics of how your RV works.
All day
Not
long.
just the basics. They get level 1 and level 2.
They do.
What?
They do. Level
That's
1
what
and
he
level
said.
2.
For $300?
That's what that.
We
Yes.
can put ourselves right out of
devil year.
business.
Yeah, we could put ourselves right out of business.
whole year?
Shut this down right now.
All right, cut that out.
So to answer your question, yes. And I would encourage you to have your folks do that, because what we know and what we are finding a lot of times is for $300, I mean, what can you have $300? You're going to learn, first of all, most importantly, how to do things safely. That's the most important thing. There's a lot of trainings out there. And I will tell you that I can only validate what ours is. And ours was created under the standards, which is what all these RVs have been built under. And that's how we created curriculum. So we know it's safe. So even if you go on there, even if you don't have the intentions of becoming a certified tech as a full-time person, a lot of folks are doing it for their own self-knowledge and work, but also side hustles. There's a lot of people, doing side gigs. There's the 401. If you've looked at yours lately, it's not doing real well. And some folks are having to come out of retirement and do things. They're choosing to become, doing some work on the side, some side gig.
Like
and
you're talking about mobile tech.
like a mobile tech, exactly.
Like a
And-
mobile tech who just says, or somebody who lives in maybe an RV park, and then they're
Sure.
like, "Hey, anybody need some help?"
Yes,
They can say,
that's
"I'm level 1
exactly-
certified. I'll come help you."
Exactly.
Okay, I have another question.
Yes.
Just because, what if somebody does that, but they have a question about the training? There's something they don't get, right? I have watched this segment 3 times. I still don't get this one thing, and I have some questions. If I have online training, do I have somebody to chat with or to
Sure
call?
do.
Oh, 24/7.
Is it
can give
you?
us a
What's your
call.
cell phone number?
Yeah.
Tracy, this question's for you.
We will never leave them hanging. We actually have a couple really, really good instructors that they can always call. Hallie and I are always available to help them out. We always have Sharon and Roxanne and Krista in the office too. So all they need to do is call and say, okay, I'm on this section in this level. I don't understand this. Can you get me some help?
Does that
Not a
happen?
problem. Sure does.
Yeah.
Are they
does.
level 1 certified?
Oh, yeah.
It's just
That's a good question.
A
Yeah,
good
that was
question.
fair.
That is-
Good. That's a very, very fair question. So yes, actually, it's very interesting that this year we were taking the whole office through a certification.
Yeah.
So
Good.
even
By the end of this year, everyone that you would talk to at RVTI will be certified. At least level 1.
What about the people who fill the vending
instructors.
machines?
They don't have vending machines.
Oh.
It's all online.
It's
If they want to, for $300, they are more than welcome
all
to.
right. What about? Is there anybody like? If there's people listening or people who have the idea that this might be, a good path for them to take, have you ever had people who just you can't train, like they don't have it, or is this kind of for everybody?
And the reason she's asking that is because we have customers sometimes that just, I don't know how else to put it except for they just don't get it. I wonder how they got this far. And they don't know that they just can't get it. The ones that say, yeah, I'm terrible at this. It's so hard for me. I'm like, no, you've got this. The people that don't get it don't know they don't get it.
The Dunning-Kruger people.
What?
Yes, don't you remember? I
Yes.
remember.
Dunning-Kruger effect, where the people who really don't get it think they're like expert level.
They don't get that they don't get it.
They truly don't get that they
Yeah.
don't get it. Yeah, the Dunning-Kruger people. And the experts
I don't
always
even know what that means.
Well,
We'll
educate you later.
Okay, later.
Wait a second. Listen.
Someone knows.
You just don't get it?
I just don't get that I don't get it.
Yes.
You're okay.
My head hurts.
So you talk to us.
We've had people that have struggled. And, I will say we do not turn anybody away. We do not require a high school diploma. We don't even require a GED. We are purposely created to be able to train people to become a technician. The soft skills and those things, we have not introduced those. We may at some point. But what we do is we build relationships with organizations, workforce development folks that can help those that may struggle. We've got avenues for them to pursue.
Do you ever refund their money?
Oh, we have, yes.
Oh, you've said, okay, if this just isn't working for you, so sorry you're disappointed. Here you go.
We have done that a couple of times.
Probably unusual.
It is unusual.
It is very much the one-off.
But not everybody's good with your hands.
Yeah.
So we have book smart people out there in this world, right? And that's good because they are in a different profession. But we really work with the hands-on.
So I will say this: if there's a learning disability that they may have, we still will enroll them. We will follow the same guidelines of having them get an IPE, right? IPE. Which is something, if you are familiar, you do have that situation, you know what that is. And we will make accommodations, reasonable accommodations. We are not, the nice thing about the opportunity and the fact that we are part of the organization, we're party association, is we're not in this for the money. We are a nonprofit. We're a 501c3. We are here truly to help people, to help the businesses, to help the RV industry, so that the consumer and the technician are always at the focal point, and that we're doing it for them to make their lives better. So we're not in it for the money. We've returned it a few times.
I am glad to hear that, because if you're in it for the money, Kurt, 300 is not enough.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Then,
it's not.
You are on the way out.
I have to give many thanks to my board, to the manufacturers, the suppliers of this industry. They are the ones that are making this happen. Myself and Tracy just have the luxury of actually doing it, the privilege of doing it. And it is truly, I look at it as a privilege to do this.
Well, that's great to hear, because, nobody is in this industry without having some affection for just the lifestyle and the people. It's part of it, isn't it? And if it wasn't when you started, it will get there.
Yes.
It worms its way in. So let's shift to be just a bit more practical.
Okay.
I'm a customer. I have an RV. I take it into the shop. Do people really ask, hey, do you have certified technicians? I mean, does it actually make a difference to somebody who's getting their RV repaired?
Who cares?
Because when I take my car
in a nice way, who does care?
When I take my car into the car dealership, I guess I assume that they're ASE certified at the car dealership.
To be honest, when I go to something like that, sometimes don't care until I'm informed that I should care. Like if it's an auto mechanic, I either assume or something like that, someone like that, some trades. And I assume that they are expert level, they know their stuff. But until I see that plaque on the wall, I might be like, aha, came to the right place. They're certified here. But sometimes I don't think about it. It's like I don't think about it until I'm informed that I should think about it.
Well,
that's a great question. And I'd like to go back to your statement about, I don't want to insult you, but does it really matter? I will say this. We are an industry that is less certified than more certified. We're working to try to move towards that, more certification. I will be the first to tell you that a person that has been doing wrenching for 20 years versus somebody that just comes right out and has just been certified, that 20-year wrencher probably still better. In fact, they're probably much better because they've experienced it. The difference, or why you want to do the certification route, is because you can't really prove or validate what that 20-year uncertified person knows, and if they're doing it safely. You don't know. Certification just solidifies and validates that a person is competent on these specific areas. So why you want to be certified is so that when you see that, you know that they have this base knowledge of education, and they know that they know what they know. Somebody uncertified, And lastly, if ever there becomes a situation, a litigation or anything where maybe you're being accused of something as a technician, how can I validate that I really know that information? But if I'm certified, I can reflect back to the organization where I was certified, go through their content and see, yes, I did learn this. In fact, I learned it on this day, on this day, and this day. It takes you out of the litigation situation.
Well, I mean, talking about litigation doesn't make people taking their RVs in to be repaired feel a whole lot better about it, right? They're showing up. They're saying, hey, I went to this dealership because I've heard good things, or the guy's nice. What should a customer look for if they're bringing their RV in? Is there like a plaque that everybody has, or is there like, I mean, it just seems so old school to have pieces of paper for everybody tacked up on the wall. Is there something that they can look for? How do you figure this out?
Would you like to take that one too?
Would
you like me to take that one?
Are you still?
Tracy,
This must be a hard answer.
No,
Otherwise,
it's
you
actually
won't
not.
ask it.
It's
Actually, there are three different ways. So yes, there's still paper certifications. So there will be paper certifications if they want to hang them up, out in the service shop or in their office, or
and a customer
wherever.
can ask for
that. Maybe exactly. They can ask for that. There are patches, just like in the auto industry. They have
patches for everyone's shirt.
It's for their shirt. Yep. So they have patches, and they'll have their levels on them. Level 1
and
level
tattoos.
2.
And tattoos. Maybe?
Is that a requisite to work here? I don't know.
Just
I mean, is it an RV tattoo?
well, it is in lieu of a superhero costume.
there you go.
So,
So that
you
is
get one or the
their
other.
Oh, gotcha.
One or the other.
They don't get caught up in fans and stuff.
Is there like a website? Can I look up?
Okay, so we I guess we could go to to number 4 then in the future.
Oh,
so
sorry.
3 is we've created now the clings for the doors for the dealerships who have certified technicians. You will start seeing those show up around the country.
Good.
So
Can we buy them on Amazon? Because that's
No,
what
you
I'm really
cannot.
just thinking.
You have to earn
That's
those.
what
You have
I
to
was
earn
hoping
those.
for.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one to get. So no.
Okay, and that is only for
And-
level 3?
No.
That's for any
No,
certification.
that's just
That's for the
3 ways.
dealership. That's for the dealership
or
to
your
be able-
mobile
Okay.
technicians
To
go on the
say
side of their truck.
So
you
the-
have
certified
Yeah,
tech.
so the consumer
Okay.
can see. You had asked, how does the consumer know or why?
Okay.
They
That's
can
one
see
of
the-
3
that's one of
ways.
3 ways.
Yep.
Okay,
And
and the
then
4th one is a
With our new
superhero costume.
website, there will eventually be what Lindsay's talking about.
Tattoos.
Tattoos and
Capes.
Capes, yes.
Can I have a red one?
Any color.
I want a red
Scarlet
one.
candy
We're
apple,
$300.
Or 300.
Our colors are black and gold, so we prefer that.
I
you know.
could do that.
There you go.
You do
Kind
like
of-
the Saints, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Okay, so
I used to. Drew
And she
left
has
them, so I
one
don't
more
know.
that is going to be rolling out here soon
What,
too.
number 5?
okay.
The website.
That's what the website for Lindsay. So
Just for
we're,
me.
we're launching a new website. And as the different levels come through, and level 3 comes through in Q3, we're going to start linking 2 things. We're going to start linking the trainings that the suppliers are doing to that. So your technicians are going to be able to get and know when those
and where
Okay.
those
schools are
trainings
at, right? Where the
Okay.
trainings are at. And then we'll have another page that links dealerships with their levels.
So
Okay.
if I was a
all
customer
sounding
and
very-
I brought, I didn't want to just bring my RV to any place. I wanted somebody who was certified to fix the Truma water heaters or whatever. I could go online and look and say, this dealership has somebody. I'm
Has
taking it
certified
here.
techs. Correct. Correct.
What a good idea.
That's, yep. That's
I'm
kinda-
glad I thought of it.
So you will not
Nice
be you will
idea.
not you will
Good
not
idea.
be able to go in there and see the individuals, but you'll see that the
the dealership.
dealership that employs them.
Somebody there
Yes.
knows.
Yes.
Are there logos that we could put on the website so that people could look on our website and see?
So a
That we have
certified
certified techs?
technician has the logo capability. So if you have a certified technician, they get those logos.
And we could put it like on their little staff picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not certifying dealerships. They're certifying
Certifying techs.
individuals.
Yeah.
So
this is part of the professionalism that we brought to the table is we really do want it to be similar to anyone that goes to a community college or a traditional college. You know, we want to protect and we want that technician to own their credential and own their education. And so as they take, and this was new to this industry until RVTI came along, we have a digital basically portfolio that they have access to, and they can load all their certifications into them, so that if ever asked, or if they're ever looking for another job or whatever case, they can actually just print that out and produce it, so you can validate that what they've learned. That hasn't been the case up until a few years ago. And so RVTI's real sole purpose, we got three things. We're to train, certify, and recruit for the industry so that the consumer has a better experience. That's our mission as a 501c3. We have the luxury of having a great support system in the manufacturer, suppliers, the dealers, and we have a great network of dealer friends and such. But you brought up a good thing. I would love it if every consumer went through even level 1. I think there's definitely enough work out there for everybody.
Well, I think people just want to know how everything works, the basics.
Or if you're just stuck somewhere and your slide out won't go in, how can I get it in, right? Before I take it into my dealership,
can't get a hold of the service department,
right?
Yeah,
exactly. You're just
my water's not getting hot. Is there a simple thing that maybe I don't understand?
Did I turn the gas on?
Did I turn it off? Did I turn this here? How's that supposed to work? So all those basic questions I think are good. And when people take it in for repair, they can say, hey, do you guys have certified techs? And, dealerships are going to be in a level of, some certified,
transition,
some not.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think that's a good question for people to ask, just so they know. And that leads me to my last serious question, which is there are, I know.
It better not be my question.
No, yours won't be serious.
No, it is serious.
Oh, okay. Well, then you can.
But it'll be a 2-part question.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
So there are other schools out there that train techs. So what does that look like? Can you give me a landscape of RVTI and how that fits in there?
Sure. Yeah, you are correct. There's nothing that prevents anyone from creating a school. I mean, you could go create a school. I can really only speak to what I know best, and that's our school. Okay. And I can say that our school was created by the industry. It was created by a collection of the manufacturers, of the suppliers, the dealers, campground owners who said, hey, we have a shortage, and we also have not professionalized, and we have a lot of repairs that might be going on that aren't safe, aren't done correctly. So I know after $2 million investing in creating curriculum, working with Ohio State University, working with NOCTI Business Solutions to produce a product that is a safe way of doing the work, and it was supported by the industry, funded by the industry, and it is the gold standard of the industry and will continue to be that. I don't want to speak to other schools because I don't know, but I can't control what they do or what they do.
Okay.
But that's us. And I would say, the price point was set because we don't want that to be a barrier either. The industry, the last 2 years, we've been very fortunate. We've had a great run. And because of that, they're taking some of that money and they're saying, hey, let's also make sure this consumer, let's fix that service problem. But let's make sure we're doing it right. Let's make it professionalized. Let's make sure they're certified. And this is not a sprint, by the way. We've been doing the way we've been doing it for decades.
Right.
This is about 2.0. This is about the next level of certifying, professionalizing. So just like your car, you mentioned earlier about how you take it in and you drive a GM or whatever, you can go to any GM dealership. And we know, well, the public doesn't know this, but we're not franchised in a lot of ways, so they don't get that same experience.
Right.
But they should get that same experience when it comes to service.
Right.
And by going through RVTI, using the national not the national, but the industry created curriculum, that the people, if they're certified, you look for that sticker, they're there.
Right.
It's going to be done right. And that's what we're doing.
So RVIA is the National RV Industry Association.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So people that belong to that are all of the suppliers that supply everything from molded fenders to radios to water heaters, refrigerators,
rubber material.
Yes. All of those people belong to this association.
That is correct.
As do the manufacturers.
So all those parts that go into the final product of which the manufacturer puts together, those are our members. There's 90+% of the, if anyone listening to this is doing an RV and it has a little sticker on the side that says RVIA, what that means is that unit, that your RV has been built to the standards of 1192, which is the exact number. And that is what is used to help create the curriculum. And we're the only organization out there, the only school out there that has used that as your baseline for curriculum. So if you want to go to school and you want to do it right, and you want to get something that you know was done with safety first and quality, then RVTI is really your only choice. But
And, as you and I have talked about so many times, training anywhere is a good thing.
oh, it's great. That's what I said.
Learning about your RV absolutely anywhere
As
is
long as
good.
it's safe. That's what I keep saying.
Is
We just want to make sure it's
Yeah.
good and make sure it's
Be
safe.
sure you're
Yeah.
safe. But you guys are directly associated with the suppliers and the manufacturers. So there,
As they
there you
bring
have
new
it.
things, to the forefront, we're going to be the first one, because they have to get approved to be able to even offer that product. So they have to come through us. And so when they come through us, we then take that, we put it, we make sure it's safe, and then we put it into curriculum as needed.
All righty. Well, so Lindsay, what's your question?
Okay. First of all, I like your lava rock bracelet.
Oh, thank you.
It's beautiful.
All right. So Kurt's
I know.
wearing a lava rock bracelet.
But it was clicking and it made me
Oh, I'm
stare
sorry.
at it. No, I don't care.
Yeah. So you just get to know people.
This is actually, so this was given to me by
it
my
bone?
granddaughter, who's 4 years old, and I get to spend a week with her here in the next couple of days. So I'm a little excited to get home for that. But I have a shark that I can track all over the world, and he's got a little device in him. And so this is my shark that she bought for me for Christmas.
What?
Yes.
You can.
Yes.
you can.
So
So
You're
in my
like-
spare time, I follow my shark.
What's his name?
Oh gosh, I think it is. It's like chemo or something like that. I haven't.
Chemo doesn't sound.
He's already
right.
named. Yeah, he's already named. And I apologize if she's listening. She's listening. But
She's not listening.
It's like,
No,
I believe
she's
it's- I
not.
believe it's
No one
chemo.
is
She
It's
didn't
chemo.
make it that
Where
far.
approximately is this shark right now? Do you know?
So he is
Approximately.
up,
What
he is
ocean?
up in New England right
Okay.
now. At the
So
warmer waters.
Atlantic.
He's away from yes. So I make sure he's not exactly where I'm at.
What kind of shark? What kind of
A great
shark
white.
is this?
It's a great white.
It's a great white shark. Really? They tag him? Do you? Okay. All right. Pivot.
I want one.
You go.
Can we
go
do
on
it
a
for
website,
penguins?
and you can
that's
pick
what this
one?
one is also. But this is Oceans 4 Oceans, which started off as a nonprofit. They're no longer, but these are all plastic bottles and plastic stuff they pulled out of the ocean that they sell these bracelets, and they have different colors based on the species or what you want to track. So I love sharks, obviously. So this black color is for sharks, and this is my personal shark that I track. So.
Okay, so
Yeah, I like
we're going to
sharks.
put links to both these places in the show notes
Yes.
because I think that probably is the most interesting thing we've talked about.
That's really cool.
Very
Okay.
cool.
But my for serious question. Okay, I went to training and I did level 1 and level 2. Do you guys do anything to help me get a job? What does that look like?
Sure, without a doubt. I mean, that's actually the easiest part of the whole job because
For
first
me or
of
for
all,
you?
No, it's actually yeah. It's you're always going to be our first priority, so it's for you. Because of our connections, I mean, when you think about all the people we interact with, the manufacturers, the suppliers, the dealers, the mobile techs, we will help you wherever. You just tell us where you want to live, what you want to do. Let's start with, do you want to be a mobile tech? Do you want to be a dealer tech? Do you want to be an independent tech? What do you want to be?
Campground, where you want to go?
Campground. Do you want to, yeah, I'm sorry, I left out campgrounds. Yes, they're the other big part of this. In fact, we're working very closely with campgrounds because we're possibly looking to add some of the RVTI curriculum at different campgrounds across the country because you think about it, that works really well.
Yeah,
good place to-
absolutely.
place to go.
People want to know about RVs.
So yes, all you have to do is ask. And we encourage that you do ask.
That's your job?
That's part of my job.
All right, Tracy, you still haven't given us your phone number yet. I mean, we're still waiting.
But one thing I will also share with you, which is important, is we do service all customers, meaning that a dealer will send their technician to us, and we will not at all solicit that person to get them employed somewhere else or anything of that nature. In fact, if they're coming from a dealership, we will not even discuss other opportunities. If they approach us, we would obviously say, we're not in a position to do that. If they exit that dealership at some point or whatever, for a lifelong, they can come back to us anytime, and we will happily place them wherever they geographically want to live.
Well,
So
that's
typically
nice.
what we're working on right now is those As our goal is 1,000 recruits from outside the industry this year. Inside the industry is helping to place
So
them.
is that your goal, 1,000?
That's what the board said.
That's what the board said.
year.
We're going to start at 1,000.
You getting nervous?
We're not even close.
Nah,
we
no.
actually have just started recruiting. Our BISC team is working with us, and within just a short 2-week period, we are already over. I want to say they're over 100 enrollments.
I was going to say, I know we did
300 some odd leads.
348 or whatever.
And
they
we
had
haven't
in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks?
So we're close to
weeks.
500 right now for the year.
Yeah.
And
we
so
are
I think we'll be.
we're going to
Wow.
be we're going to be
We're
fine.
gonna hit it.
Here's the thing.
Wow.
We have not. We're 3.5 years old. Let's start with that. We're 3.5 years old. By the way, we did
so
have a
cute.
pandemic in there.
I know. Just a toddler.
It's just a baby. And so this is the year of recruitment. We've tagged it as a year of recruitment. We're redesigning the webpage. We are getting out to all these events all across, and that's why we're here. And we're also creating the webpage. Back to your question about placement opportunities, there's going to be a place on our website down the road that all jobs can be listed all across the country. If you are a part of RVTI or you're an authorized learning partner with us and you're training, we're going to post your job posting so that with no discrimination.
As a dealership, can we pay to be featured?
Yeah. Is it? Yeah.
Banner at the top.
Can we get the premium package?
We want your valedictorians.
But I only want the good ones, okay?
Yes, exactly. That's right.
Only want
if you're
the
the
A
good
students.
one. Yep. It'll be done in a very neutral setting so that
geez.
it's
Too bad.
Let the market let the market drive. I'll let you entertain, but there'll be no partiality to one or the other. But once again, our focus is the consumer and the technician. So we'll always keep our eye on that technician, make sure they're taken care of first and foremost. And if they ask us for assistance and help, and if they're not already associated with a dealer or one of our partners, we will gladly point them in any direction and support. And that's lifelong. That's not just one and done.
There isn't a dealership in the country that says, I have enough technicians. I mean, I can't think of a single one that says, nope, I'm not hiring a technician right now. Not a single person. So
She knows a lot.
And I know a lot of people.
And don't forget, 63% are 35 and older. So that's only going to grow. There's over 11 million registered RVs on the road right now. 11 million registered.
I think there's 2 million in my parking lot waiting on parts. We didn't even talk about that mess. So, man, it's tough. It is tough right now. So, man, I don't know. I thought I kind of knew what you guys did and I kind of had a handle on it. But I've learned a lot and I really appreciate you guys tolerating us today.
Oh, no.
And this has been fun.
The bigger thanks is to all of you, as well as the industry as a whole. I'm very proud, very fortunate to be able to help lead the initiative here. Tracy joined our team six or 8 months ago and is a great I have a great team back in Elkhart. But it's kind of like, you're walking in, you just got to have a big old mob of people behind you supporting you. And that's what's going to make the Institute really, really rock in the years to come. And the better part of it, that consumer and that technician are going to be better for it. So thank you for having us. This has been great.
Well, closing speed question. The one thing that breaks the most. This is not a speed answer, guys. Come on. One thing. Pick.
I'm going to say awning.
Awning?
Ooh, that is a good one.
And it's not the awning
All right.
themselves.
Okay, Kurt sucks at speed questions.
A cabinet handle.
Oh, cabinet handle? No. I mean, I would used to say antenna because people leave them up, right? The old crank downs. I would always have said that first, but now it seems that they don't put their awnings all the way in. So that's why I want to say it. It's not the awning themselves. Don't get upset, suppliers. It's lack of knowledge of use.
I will say whatever device was added and not tightened down appropriately. I mean, because it's across the board, right? I mean, it is. I don't know if there's one single. There is a top list, but there's
top 5.
Yeah.
There's every day. Sometimes you hear things like, "Oh, that was not done." So we're doing our best to prevent that.
Well, I can tell you, 6 weeks ago, I would have said air conditioners because we had like 10 come in a week.
Sure.
Now I would say refrigerators. We have had an epic wave of refrigerator failures in the last few weeks.
Can I talk to your service people?
Yeah.
I have a heads up for you on that one.
Oh, yay. See, these are the people to know.
All right.
Tracy, what's your phone
I've had
number?
2 things that have occurred
Come on, girl.
in the industry. I'm going to give you 2 tips. So
Okay, but not on the podcast.
Shh. Shut it down.
Okay. All right.
down.
If you guys want to know about repairing RVs, if you decide you'd like to be level 1 certified, it sounds probably a bit more scary than it is. How many hours does it take to get through level 1?
Level 1 is literally, in theory, if you were to sit in class, it'd be like a 40-hour class. So 5
40
days,
hours.
8 hours.
So you
that's
could do
it.
it in a week if you sat there all day.
yeah.
And if you
Which
do it
sounds awful.
if you do it online, you could do it in 2 days if you wanted to. I mean, if you want to dedicate yourself to it for a couple days.
So that's not bad.
no.
There would be
That's
no
not
sleep.
bad.
Setting that up.
A few hours a day, you could get level 1
I think
certified in a few weeks.
I think the more important thing is the curriculum was created with the assumption that a person doesn't know anything. Okay, so it is created
That is good to know.
to take you through it. Now, I will say it's not easy. It's not easy. Our pass rates are only in the 70 to 85% range, somewhere in there. Not everybody passes the first time.
But you've got a whole year.
You got a whole year, and you can take it again. You can take the certification test again.
Does it cost money if you take it like 10 times?
It is $75 after.
Okay,
So it'd
okay.
be $375 if you had to do one.
You know what, I think-
If you had to do
If
it
you
10
one more
times.
time, yeah.
I think I'm going to gift my 7-year-old this for Christmas. It's
Okay, let us
$300.
know how that goes, okay?
She can do it.
You know, that could be good data for you to figure out if the 7-year-old could do it.
She's pretty smart.
She is pretty smart.
That'd be scary if she did.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
not.
Or not, yeah.
Or not, it would be a very good training setup.
Long career.
All right.
Long career.
Thanks, guys, for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. So good to get more info. RVTI.org.
.org.
All right. We will put all the details, or at least a few of them, not including Tracy's phone number, in the show notes.
Which you can find at rvsmalltalk.com.
And you can find us anywhere. Our show notes at rvsmalltalk.com. You can find us on social media. Just do a search, RV Small Talk Podcast. On YouTube, you can actually watch these podcasts as they
If you
look
really want to.
to the naked eye. Lindsay's currently doing something to the camera. You're going to have to check it out if you're only listening. Don't forget, in your podcast player of choice, you might be able to subscribe. Please do. You might be able to rate. Please do. You might be able to leave a review. Please do. Absolutely do that if you are an Apple Podcast, because it, for some reason, changes the algorithm for everyone else. So hop on there, drop us a thumbs up, a star, 5 stars, all the stars, and a good review. Thanks again, and we will see you in the next hear you, talk to you, something in the next episode of the podcast of RV Small Talk.
And I think we're done.
I have to tell you, that wasn't nearly as boring as I thought it would be.
Well, thanks.
Well, thank
Appreciate
you.
that a lot.
You're welcome.
That's hilarious.